Hey guys, welcome to this new video. In this video I want to introduce you someone in the real estate. So in this video you're gonna learn everything you need to know about real estate in Vietnam. So many of you guys asked me in the previous video how you can invest in Vietnam. So you can open a company, but obviously you can also invest in real estate. So we're gonna go together. I will introduce you someone so you can learn everything about real estate for foreigner in Vietnam. Let's go together. So here we are next to Son office. His office is located just nearby. And so you have here one of the most iconic tower of Saigon. It's landmark. So that's, I think, a good illustration from what you get in Vietnam in real estate. And you have just here as well the metro line that is still under construction. So I guess it's a good illustration from you to see how, obviously, on the other side, real estate is also a very, very booming market. Now let's go together to Son office. So here I am with Son. So Son, I'm happy to have you here. Last time when we meet and when we discuss about real estate, I think you have a lot to teach to French people, to European people that are not really familiar with Vietnamese market. So can you first maybe introduce yourself to our audience? Let us know for how long you've been here and what do you work on a daily basis?
Hello, I'm Son. I'm one of the co-founder of ERA Vietnam, and we have been in the market for around 10 years, but we purchased the master franchise of ERA from Asia Pacific since 2017.
Okay.
But since 2011, we have been on the market in the real estate agency in Vietnam.
So mostly you help local investors and as well as foreign investors to invest in Vietnam, right?
Traditionally, our clients are local people, but from 2017, our government started some new laws, regulations that really help foreign investor investing in Vietnam. So for the last 4 years, we have a lot of international clients, and during this period, we have been handling around 300 transactions with foreign clients investing in real estate in Vietnam.
So mostly your clients are what, Singaporean?
Yeah, Singaporean, US, Japan, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Malaysia. The reason for it is because those countries, except US, are very near Vietnam, right? And there are a lot of developers from Singapore, from Malaysia. They started to do business in Vietnam more than 10 years ago. So people from those countries, they just know about the developer first, and then they know about the market.
I see. So from your perspective, being in the industry for more than 10 years, you say, why you think Vietnam is kind of a good soil? You have good, everything is like ready and everything is already established. So Vietnam market will still going up and grow. What's your perspective about that?
The growth of the real estate depends on the economic growth. And Vietnam is a developing country, and we have a lot of potential for economic growth. So that's why property valuation also it's also growing. And the one more reason is that in Vietnam, real estate is the main investing channel for most of people, more than stock market, more than everything. So there is always a very real demand from people, not only professional investor, but people about property. So that's why the property price in Vietnam we did not go down even in the worst time during the last global financial crisis. and especially during this COVID-19, for the last 6 months, we have seen many businesses struggling, especially in the tourism, restaurant or something like that. But the price of the property still go flat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you can check one of the previous video I made. Some of the reasons why foreign investors should put their focus into Vietnam. There were the demographics, economics, and also the foreign advantage, like the foreign law.
Yeah.
So basically, we can own a company 100%. This is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, real estate markets is one of the main vehicle for locals to keep also the currency, right? Because Vietnamese do not necessarily trust the banking systems, so they will prefer rely on their own investment strategy. So they will buy lands, they will buy properties in different regions that are growing. And yeah, that's one of the reasons it's a very dynamic market. From your perspective, being a real estate agent and also invest for your own, what's the best cities you would recommend for someone who doesn't know so much about Vietnam? Let's say a French person or a European person who wanna maybe put some assets in Vietnam. What would be the best cities to focus?
If this is the first investment in Vietnam, I would recommend Ho Chi Minh City. So this is the biggest city in Vietnam and the busiest city in Vietnam, and the most dynamic economic growing city in Vietnam. So officially the population is about 10 million as of now, but in reality, we estimate about more than 15 million people at least, because a lot of people come from other cities. They just live and work here, and they are not counted into the official population of Ho Chi Minh. So every people in the south of Vietnam, or actually every people around Vietnam, if they graduate from the university and they want to find work or they want to build their career, their definite choice is Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay.
So the demand of the property is very real. It's not like speculation, but every people want to buy house, and it is one most thing. This is a cultural thing of Vietnamese, is that they want to buy house. They don't want to rent. So as long as they have ability, or even they can borrow from parents or from anyone, not only from the bank, they will try their first to buy the home to stay.
Okay.
So I think investing in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh is the best city and the most safe city.
Okay. Yeah. What about Da Nang? It's also
Da Nang is also a good choice in the mean of it is the most developed coastal city in Vietnam, and the weather there is very stable. So we can do tourist in around the year. So investing in Da Nang also is a good investment, but in terms of the investment for cash flow. So basically, when we invest in Ho Chi Minh, it is a residential property. When we invest in Da Nang, it is about tourism. So we will leasing our home there for a management company in Da Nang, and they will do the business in tourists, and we will receive a cash flow from that. So it's a two kind of investment.
Yeah, I see. So talking about those two kinds of investment, someone who wanna bet on the capital gain, so bet on a district that will grow, versus another investor that will more be confident in renting his place to maybe a foreign worker who just arrived, or for Vietnamese. What would be the main district you would recommend in Saigon for someone who has more the capital gain objective and someone who wanna rent?
So in Ho Chi Minh there are actually District 1, District 2, and District 7.
Okay.
The most important district for investment. So 1, 2, and 7. District 1 is like the CBD of Ho Chi Minh. So the price is high. District 2 is very near District 1, so the price is a little bit lower. But when people investing in District 1 or District 2, it is that is mainly for capital gain. Because the land is so, there is a very little land available, so there is a very little property available in District 1 or 2. So if you investing here, it's a very limited amount. So we bet on the capital gain. So District 7 is further from the CBD. It's about 5 kilometers from CBD, but it is also home to many foreigners living and working in Vietnam, especially from Korea, Japan, and also District 7 is also home to many international schools, hospitals, and facilities. So investing in District 7 is more about renting out, leasing out. So you have more cash flow with respect to the investment. So for example, I would say if a home in District 7 can be rented out for about 4 to 5% of the rental rate per year annually, then District 1 or 2 we can expect only about 3 to 4%, but District 7 we can expect 4.5 to 6% more.
Yeah, and on the other side, the price will increase maybe more in District 1, District 2, right?
Yeah.
Do you have?
Yeah, because District 7 price is lower than the price of District 1 or 2, but because of the limitedness of the land in District 1 or 2, then District 1 or 2, although the price is higher, but the potential for growth is even higher. So, for example, I would say for the price in District 7, we projected to the capital gain of about 10% per year in the next 5 years for District 7, but we would expect it would be about 15 to 20% District 2, 2 and 1, although the price is higher, right? Yeah, I would like to stress that because many of our clients want to buy property with the lower price, and the normal logic is that the cheaper one will increase more, but actually in Vietnam it's not necessarily. Yeah, it's not a story. Yeah.
And so we talk about those 3 districts. Is there a range? Because for European people, we believe a lot the price per square meter. So each cities will have price. Per
so for example, District 7, right? Price per square meter. District 7, 2,500 per square meter, 2,500 to 3,000 per square meter. District 7. District 2 is about 4,500 to 7 or 8,000.
Yeah, it depends on the real.
District 1 is very high already. 8,000 to 17,000 we have also. Yeah, but as I say, for example, if we, for example, this year, right, we have about 5 new projects in District 7, but only 1 project in District 1, and each project in District 7 they have 2,000, 3,000 units. A project in District 1, just 800 units. Yeah, so very limited number. So that's why the growth is better.
Okay. So let's say someone gets more familiar with Vietnam, a foreign investor. What would be the minimum capital you would recommend for them to get to be able to invest in a project that will have good potential? Let's say
200,000.
200,000.
Yeah. If started with 200,000 or 250,000, right? We can start to invest in District 7, and started with about 300,000 and above. 300,000 we can look at District 2, and start with about 600,000 we can start look at District 1. Yeah, but normally when foreign investor buy property in Vietnam, we buy off-plan property. We not buy completed one, right? We buy off-plan. So when we buy off-plan property, we will pay by installment. So typically the installment will spread in 2 years, and during the first 2 years before the handover, before the unit is completed, we will pay only 45 or 70%, 50%, sorry. And the other 50% we pay only when we receive our apartment.
Yeah, and there is a common thing in Vietnam is that you can buy initially, enter in the project, and even if the project is not done, you can already have resale.
Yeah, it's very
common.
It's quite common in Vietnam, because by the laws of Vietnam, after you sign the sale purchase agreement, you can already own it and you can sell it. Yeah, and basically the sale purchase agreement will be signed 6 months or 1 year before the completion. So actually, you sign the sale purchase agreement and you can sell. Yeah.
Okay. So talking about the process, can you mention a little bit how it works for foreigner? Because we didn't mention it. And also, what about the tax? Is there any tax on the capital gain if I sell?
No. The tax is quite friendly in Vietnam, at least for now, because now there is only one taxing system for local and for foreigners. So there's no difference for, like in many countries. There's a big difference, right? In Vietnam, the same tax apply for local and foreigners. And the tax is that there is no tax on capital gain yet. There is tax on buying. So you have the 0.5% tax on buying, and you will have 2% tax on selling.
When you sell.
Yeah. No.
That's it.
Yeah.
So very, very smooth when you compare to what we have in foreign countries, especially in France. It's a pain in the ass, and that's why finally in Vietnam we have an assumption on the country.
Yeah.
And when we see how everything works, it's like sometimes we see how smooth it is. Okay. So can we come back to the process? Like, let's say someone wanna look into the project. How is it? Is more he can evaluate the different properties right now available, the different.
If talking about the process, normally in the last year we have our foreign client. Normally they come here for 1 or 2 days, and we can show them around the projects. But this year we cannot, at least for now, because we don't have the entrance of international flight yet. So I think basically first we will need to look at the brochure of the project, and we have this 3 districts to consider. But based on our budget, we have only 1 or 2 districts. Yeah. And if we invest in Vietnam, if we choose the good developers, it is always 70% of the win already. As you said, deposit will be around 15 to 20% deposit, and after that you will pay by installment. Normally in Vietnam, 5% per 3 months.
Okay.
So around 1 to 1.5% every month, and you pay it until 50%, and then you wait until the completion, and at the completion you pay another 50%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think I cover most of the question I had for you. Do you have a last word? Do you wanna say something for?
Yeah, because you do this interview for French investor, right? Because I would like to say that until now we have very little customer from Europe in general, but from French we have no client. One of the reasons I think is because the people from Europe have little information about Vietnam, because from US we have a large amount of Vietnamese living there, Việt Kiều. Asia is very close to us, but European have little information about Vietnam. Yeah, but I think for us, in Vietnam is a very dynamic growing country. So the property market is going very stable. At least for the last 20 years, we have seen a very big upside of property market. And the best thing of it is it did not going down in the crisis. During the last global financial crisis, 4 years, from 2008 to 2012, the property price keeps stable, and now also very stable. So I think it's a very good investment in Vietnam
Yeah.
at this moment.
I think it's you close the discussion on the positive side. But thank you, Son.
No.
So now, if you guys want to learn more, you can check in the description. I will put a link so we can get in touch. Maybe at the time when you will contact me, we can share a little bit some insights. I can share you some of the districts or some of the projects are currently available for foreigner. And then if you want to get in touch with Son, I will forward everything for you. So everything will be smooth. Thanks, Son, again
Okay.
for the interview, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.